Aliens thought humans were primitive until they were surrounded by humans. One species, dismissed as mere primitives, concealed a spark that could ignite the stars. Zoltan Crick stepped onto the elevated platform, his tall frame draped in flowing scholarly robes. His blue skin shimmered faintly under the chamber's harsh lights as he clutched a data slate, its glow reflecting his determined gaze. The Galactic Council's headquarters, a crystalline marvel orbiting a neutron star 12 light-years from Earth, pulsed with energy. Its translucent walls caught the star's eerie glow, casting prismatic flecks across the tiered seats where delegates from countless species gathered. Vextra, the Council's senior advisor, raised a tentacled arm, her voice cutting through the hum of translators. The vote on humanity begins now. Screens flickered, displaying Earth as a fragile blue orb, ripe for exploitation. Data streams tallied the decision, 87 in favor, 13 against, sealing humanity's fate as a Tier 7 species, destined for labor colonies to mine rare isotopes. Zoltan leaned into the podium, his voice steady but urgent. Counselors, humanity has endured 3 global wars, each time rebuilding stronger. He tapped his slate, projecting timelines of destruction and rapid technological leaps. From steam engines to starships in mere centuries, their adaptability is unmatched. Vextra's eyes narrowed, her tentacles coiling in dismissal. Sentimental nonsense, Cricks, she snapped, her tones silencing the chamber's murmurs. The classification stands. A pulse from the central console activated the Terran fleet. In distant docks, 200 warships stirred, their engines humming with destructive intent. Zoltan bowed, dismissed from the chamber. He strode through the crystalline corridors to his ship, its sleek hull waiting in the docking bay. Aboard, he activated his console, holograms flaring to life with images of humanity's past. Primitive drones swarmed in ancient battles, turning tides with cunning tactics. "They're not what you think," he murmured, his fingers tracing the data. Vextra's broadcast echoed across the galaxy. Her holographic image loomed over Earth's communication networks. "Earthlings, surrender your world for labor colonies," she declared. "You have 72 hours or face annihilation." The ultimatum hung heavy, a cold threat from a distant star. On Earth, alarms pierced command centers. Admiral James Harrington stood at the heart of the orbital command, his gray hair cropped short, his uniform crisp against the glow of tactical screens. He commanded 15 orbital defense platforms, their weapons primed. "Nations of Earth, we unite now," he said, his voice steady over secure links. Leaders of fragmented alliances nodded, their resolve coalescing. Factories roared to life, shifting to war production as 1.2 million volunteers flooded recruitment centers within a day. In a cluttered lab, Dr. Layla Patel hunched over her workstation, her dark hair tied back. Lab coat slightly askew. Her fingers danced across keyboards, decoding intercepted alien signals. Patterns emerged on her screen, revealing flaws in Terran's shielding harmonics. "Their tech isn't invincible," she said, her voice sharp with discovery. Her team adjusted algorithms, pinpointing vulnerabilities that could turn the tide. Zoltan, aboard his cloaked vessel, watched Earth's response unfold. Sensors tracked the surge of activity, ships launching from hidden bases, resources pouring into defenses, unity forged in the crucible of crisis. The Terran fleet warped into the solar system, their sleek hulls glinting against the void, engines thrumming with menace. Zoltan gripped his console, a flicker of awe crossing his face. Silence settled in his cabin, broken only by his whispered words. "They've awakened a giant." Vextra's orders crackled through the Terran fleet's comms. Admiral Kororak, a hulking figure on his bridge, acknowledged with a grunt, his officers bustling around him. The neutron star's gravity tugged at the Council's headquarters as delegates dispersed, their decision sealed. Zoltan's ship drifted further, cloaking deeper to avoid detection. He archived his warnings, securing data packets that might yet prove vital. On Earth, cities buzzed with purpose. Sirens wailed as people looked skyward, their defiance growing. Harrington studied his holomap, plotting strategies as allies shared intel. Patel's findings spread, and platforms powered up plasma arrays, their cannons humming with readiness. The Terran fleet advanced, their drones detaching in precise formations, expecting an easy victory. Korak's voice rumbled over the comms. Minimal resistance anticipated. Zoltan's blue eyes locked on his display, tracking the converging forces. Earth's chatter surged with resolve, a symphony of defiance. Volunteers trained in simulators, nations pooled their fleets, and factories churned out weapons at a relentless pace. Vextra, reviewing reports in the council's chamber, stood satisfied, blind to the warnings she'd dismissed. The 72-hour clock ticked down, but Earth's response surged like a rising tide. In the silence of his ship, Zoltan leaned back, his gaze fixed on the stars. Humanity's spark had ignited, and the galaxy would soon feel its heat. The giant was awake, and the cosmos held its breath. The Terran fleet sliced through the void, their 50 automated drones streaking toward Earth's satellites like a swarm of gleaming hornets. Admiral Korak, his scaled bulk dominating the bridge of his flagship, watched the tactical display with cold confidence. His jagged teeth flashed as he issued commands, expecting Earth's defenses to crumble. Earth's orbital platforms hummed with energy. Retrofits, born from sleepless nights in human labs, powered up high-energy plasma cannons. The first drone wave entered range. Cannons fired. Blue-white bolts tore through the void, shredding 42 drones into molten fragments. Debris scattered across Earth's orbit, glinting against the planet's curve. Admiral James Harrington gripped the edge of his command console, his gray eyes scanning the holomap. "They're testing us," he said. His voice carried over the comms to his fleet captains. He ordered a counterstrike, decisive and swift. 10 stealth shuttles, their hulls coated in radar-absorbing composites, launched from a hidden base near the moon. Their target, a Terran scout ship orbiting Mars. In her lab, Dr. Layla Patel's screens glowed with alien code. Her team, a mix of coders and engineers, worked feverishly. They cracked the scout ship's navigation core, its data revealing a critical flaw. The Terran fleet relied on a centralized command signal. "One weak link," Patel muttered, her fingers flying to relay the find to Harrington's command. Zoltan Crix, cloaked in his observation ship, watched the skirmish unfold. His console buzzed with intercepted signals. Humanity had adapted alien tech in 48 hours, a feat no other species had matched. He leaned forward, blue skin catching the faint glow of his screens, marveling at their ingenuity. Korak's rage echoed across his bridge. The loss of the drones stung. He slammed a clawed fist against his console, ordering 30 heavy cruisers to bombard Earth's lunar outposts. Their plasma lances charged, targeting 3 key bases nestled in the moon's craters. The cruisers descended, their hulls casting shadows over the barren surface. Earth's response was immediate. Hypersonic missiles, guided by Patel's decoded shield harmonics, launched from hidden silos. The missiles struck, exploiting gaps in the Terran shields. Explosions bloomed silently in the vacuum. 12 cruisers erupted into fireballs, their wreckage spiraling into the lunar dust. Vextra's holographic form flickered in the Council's headquarters, her tentacles writhing in frustration. "Escalate the assault, Korak," she snapped, her voice sharp through the comms. She ignored the archived warning Zoltan had submitted, now buried in the Council's data vaults. Her focus remained on Earth's submission, blind to its defiance. On Earth, a broadcast cut through the static of global networks. Harrington's face appeared, his jaw set. "We will never kneel," he declared. The words ignited a fire. 3 billion people rallied, factories churning out weapons, civilians training for defense. Cities pulsed with purpose, their lights a defiant glow against the night. Zoltan's fingers hesitated over his console. Risk weighed heavily. He typed an encrypted message, embedding tactical data on Terran's shield weaknesses. The transmission beamed to Harrington's command, a gamble that could brand him a traitor. Silence settled in his cabin as he sent it, the weight of his choice sinking in. The stealth shuttles reached the Terran scout ship, grapples locked onto its hull. Human boarding teams, clad in reinforced exosuits, breached the airlock. Laser cutters sparked, slicing through alien metal. Inside, they secured the core, dragging it back to their shuttles. The Terran crew, caught off guard, barely resisted. Harrington reviewed the data from Patel's team. The centralized command signal was a linchpin. Target their relays, he ordered. His fleet repositioned, 15 platforms aligning for a coordinated strike. Plasma cannons powered up, their hum vibrating through the stations. Korak's cruisers regrouped, their remaining 18 ships forming a defensive wedge. He sneered at the human resistance, his voice dripping with contempt. Primitive insects, he growled, unaware of the stolen core now in human hands. Patel's lab buzzed with activity. Engineers integrated the Terran tech into Earth's systems. New algorithms sharpened their targeting, exploiting the shield flaws. "We've got them now," Patel said, her voice steady despite the chaos. Zoltan's sensors tracked the escalating battle. Earth's platforms fired again, their plasma bolts precise. Terran drones faltered, their command signals stuttering. The human shuttles returned, the scout ship's core secured in their holds. Vextra's demands grew shrill, her holographic image flickering with each loss. She leaned on Korak to crush the resistance, her faith in Terran's superiority unshaken. The council chamber, once serene, now buzzed with unease. Harrington's holomap updated. Red icons marked Terran's losses. Blue icons showed Earth's growing strength. He nodded to his officers. "We hit them harder." The lunar outposts held firm, their defenses bolstered by Patel's tweaks. Missiles launched in salvos, each strike calculated. Terran cruisers burned, their shields collapsing under human precision. Zoltan watched, his data slate logging every move. Humanity's defiance was no longer a theory. It was a force. He adjusted his ship's cloak, staying hidden as Terran reinforcements loomed. Earth's broadcast looped, Harrington's words a rallying cry. Volunteers swelled, their resolve a tide against the invaders. Factories roared, producing drones of their own, inspired by the Terran designs. Korak's bridge grew tense. Officers scrambled, their confidence fraying. The human counterattack defied all expectations. He barked orders, redirecting his fleet for a second wave. Zoltan's message reached Harrington. The Admiral read it, his eyes narrowing. "This changes everything," he said. The data confirmed Patel's findings, pinpointing the Terran command relay's location. The void crackled with energy. Earth's platforms locked onto the relay ship. Cannons fired. A single bolt struck true and the Terran signal flickered out. Drones froze, drifting aimlessly. Silence hung over Harrington's command. Then cheers erupted. The first blood was theirs, but the war had just begun. Harrington's fleet, now 120 ships strong, cut through the asteroid belt. The holomap in his command center glowed with red Terran signatures. A supply convoy, 5 transports heavy with antimatter warheads, drifted into view. Harrington's voice snapped over the comms. "Ambush formation, now!" His ships, a mix of retrofitted human vessels and captured Terran hulls, moved like predators. They struck, grappling hooks latching onto the transports. Terran's escorts fired, but human plasma cannons answered, tearing through shields. All 5 transports fell, their deadly cargo secured. In her lab, Dr. Layla Patel's team swarmed the captured warheads. Sparks flew from disassembled casings. Patel's dark eyes scanned the alien tech, her mind racing. "These antimatter yields are unstable," she said, adjusting her console. Her team crafted a prototype pulse cannon, its design exploiting the warhead's energy. One shot could collapse Terran's shields instantly. They tested it on a salvaged drone. The target sparked and went dark. Patel nodded. "It's ready." Admiral Korarak, aboard his flagship, underestimated Earth's advance. His 150 remaining ships split, targeting 4 continents for simultaneous strikes. His scaled claws tapped the console, his voice smug. "Spread them thin. Crush their spirit." The Terran fleet dispersed, their plasma lances charging. Earth's skies darkened with their approach, cities bracing for bombardment. Zoltan Crix, hidden in his cloaked ship, sent a tight beam message to Harrington. "Their command ship's signal relay is the key," he transmitted, his blue fingers typing furiously. "Disrupt it, and their fleet falters." His sensors tracked the Terran movements, noting their overconfidence. He marveled at humanity's pace, their captured tech already reshaping the battlefield. Patel's hackers, working in a bunker beneath a ruined city, infiltrated the Terran network. Lines of alien code scrolled across their screens. Patel directed the assault, her voice calm but firm. "Target their relay protocols." Their algorithms burrowed deep, disabling 60% of the Terran fleet's targeting systems. For 6 hours, enemy ships fired blindly, their shots grazing Earth's defenses but missing critical targets. Harrington seized the moment. He launched a counteroffensive, 80 modified fighters screaming into Earth's orbit. Their pulse cannons, fresh from Patel's lab, fired in unison. Blue energy bolts slammed into Terran cruisers, shields collapsing like glass. 25 enemy ships burned, their hulls fracturing in silent explosions. Debris rained into the atmosphere, streaking fire across the night sky. Vextra's holographic form flickered in the Council's crystalline chamber. Her tentacles lashed in fury. "Deploy the planet killer," she ordered, her voice sharp with desperation. The weapon, a 10-kilometer-wide energy projector, was designed to pierce Earth's core. Its transport ship powered up, escorted by a dozen cruisers. Vextra's faith in Turan's dominance blinded her to the chaos unfolding. Zoltan intercepted the order, his console flashing with encrypted signals. His heart raced, a rare sensation for his species. He relayed the warning to Harrington. "They're aiming for your planet's core," he sent, his ship edging closer to Earth's orbit. Harrington's face hardened on his command deck. He scrambled 20 elite pilots, their fighters sleek and armed with Patel's pulse cannons. "Intercept that transport," he ordered, "no matter the cost." The pilots dove into the fray, weaving through Terran fire. Their fighters danced, dodging plasma lances. They targeted the transport's escorts, pulse cannons flashing. The transport loomed, its projector charging with a sickly green glow. The pilot struck, disabling its shields. A final volley breached its hull, and the projector detonated in a blinding flash. 15 human fighters didn't return. Silence gripped the command center, broken only by the hum of consoles. Korarak stared at his tactical display, his claws trembling. His fleet's losses climbed to 40%. "These are no primitives," he growled, his officers avoiding his gaze. The Terran bridge buzzed with panic, their once invincible armada fraying. Earth's defiance had shattered their assumptions, each loss a crack in their pride. Harrington's holomap updated, red icons fading as blue ones held firm. His fleet regrouped, bolstered by captured Terran ships. Patel's pulse cannons spread across the armada, each weapon a testament to human ingenuity. Factories on Earth churned, producing more fighters, their assembly lines relentless. Zoltan's ship drifted closer, his cloak holding against Terran scans. He logged the battle's progress, his data slate filling with humanity's feats. Their coordination, their speed, their refusal to break, it defied all galactic norms. He sent another message detailing Terran reactor weaknesses, his commitment to Earth's cause deepening. Vextra's chamber grew tense. Delegates whispered of failure, their confidence in the council shaken. She dismissed their doubts, her voice rising. Korarak will end this. But her tentacles twitched, betraying uncertainty. The planet killer's loss echoed through the headquarters, a warning unheeded. On Earth, cities stood defiant. Volunteers manned defenses, their training sharpened by necessity. Patel's team pushed further, refining their hacks. The Terran network faltered, their coordination crumbling. Harrington's fighters pressed the advantage, striking supply lines and crippling stragglers. The void burned with conflict. Terran ships retreated, their formations ragged. Human fighters pursued, their pulse cannons relentless. The tide had turned, not by chance but by cunning. Sultan watched, his blue eyes wide. Humanity's spark was now ablaze, and the galaxy felt its heat. Earth's population surged with unity. Factories across continents roaring to life. Automated lines, fueled by captured alien power cores, churned out hulls and weapons. In 2 weeks, 300 new warships took shape, their frames gleaming under floodlights. Workers, from engineers to civilians, labored without rest, their efforts a testament to human resolve. Harrington surveyed a launch bay, his gray eyes noting the sleek designs integrated with Terran tech. Zoltan Crix piloted his cloak ship to a neutral asteroid, its craggy surface dotted with craters. He docked in a hidden crevice, emerging in a pressure suit. Harrington waited in a makeshift chamber, his uniform marked by battle scars. "We need more edges," Harrington said, clasping Zoltan's arm. Zoltan handed over a data crystal, blueprints for a Terran shield disruptor device glowing on its surface. "This will strip their defenses bare," Zoltan replied, his blue skin pale in the dim light. Patel's team, in an underground facility, assembled the disruptors. Sparks flew from welding torches as they built 50 units. Each device pulsed with energy, designed to disable Terran shields for 30 seconds. "Enough for a kill shot," Patel noted, testing one on a simulated target. The shield flickered and died, her team cheering quietly. The weapons were distributed to Harrington's fleet, bolstering their arsenal. Korarak, desperate on his flagship bridge, deployed 100,000 automated combat drones. The swarm launched like a metallic storm, targeting Earth's major cities. His claws gripped the console, voice hoarse. "Overwhelm them. End this." The drones streaked through the atmosphere, their plasma guns charging, aiming for population centers. Harrington countered from his command center. "Initiate global EMP," he ordered, his face set. Satellites aligned, pulsing a massive electromagnetic burst. It rippled across the planet, disabling 70% of the drones. They plummeted, inert husks crashing into oceans and deserts. But the cost hit hard. 40% of Earth's power grid fried, cities plunging into darkness. Silence followed the burst, broken by emergency generators humming to life. Vextra faced growing dissent in the council's chamber. Delegates murmured, questioning her strategy, her tentacles coiled tightly. "Zoltan Crix is a traitor," she declared, slamming a report on the podium. A galaxy-wide bounty was issued, his image broadcast across systems. Hunters stirred, drawn by the reward, as Vextra sought to silence her critic. Earth's forces, now armed with disruptors, engaged in a massive battle over the Pacific. Harrington's 300 new warships formed a defensive grid. Terran ships advanced, their shields glowing. Disruptors fired, stripping defenses for those critical 30 seconds. Human cannons followed, obliterating 60 Terran vessels in explosive chains. Wreckage rained into the sea, waves churning with debris. The ocean boiled from the heat, steam rising like victory banners. Alien species watching from afar sent 12 emissaries under a cloak. They arrived at Earth's orbital station, their forms varied, tentacled, scaled, ethereal. Your resilience inspires, one said, offering weapon schematics on datapads. Harrington accepted, his nod firm. The schematics detailed advanced rail guns and cloaking fields, gifts to fuel the fight. Sultan, hunted by Terran assassins, navigated his ship through a debris field. Sensors blared as enemy craft closed in. He evaded, thrusters firing in sharp bursts. A trap sprung. Mines detonated nearby, rocking his vessel. He countered with a decoy flare, slipping away into hyperspace. The narrow escape reinforced his resolve, his commitment to humanity's cause unyielding. Harrington's broadcast cut through the galaxy's frequencies. His image appeared on screens, voice resonant. We fight for our home, and we'll fight for yours too. The words echoed, stirring oppressed worlds. Alliances whispered in the shadows. Earth's defiance a beacon. Patel's lab adapted the new schematics, integrating railguns into warships, prototypes fired, projectiles slicing through test targets. Her team worked tirelessly, the hum of machinery a constant backdrop. Harrington's fleet grew stronger, each addition a step toward dominance. Korak's bridge fell into disarray. Officers reported losses, their voices trembling. He roared orders, regrouping his shattered fleet. The drone swarm's failure stung, his desperation mounting. Vextra's bounty hunter scoured systems, but Zoltan remained elusive, his cloaking tech superior. Emissaries departed, their support secured. Harrington met with his captains, plotting the next strike. Maps showed Terran's weak points, disruptors key to exploitation. Earth's cities recovered, power grids rerouted, resilience shining through the blackout. Zoltan repaired his ship in a hidden nebula, sensors monitoring broadcasts. Harrington's words reached him, a quiet affirmation. He prepared more data packets, risking transmission to aid the cause. The galaxy shifted, Earth's awakening rippling outward. The Pacific battle's aftermath saw human ships patrolling, vigilant. Debris fields scanned for salvage, tech harvested to fuel more builds. Patel's disruptors proved pivotal, their design refined for mass production. Vextra's chamber buzzed with unrest. She quelled it with threats, but cracks formed. Delegates eyed her warily, whispers of reform growing. The bounty on Zoltan spread, assassins closing in, yet he evaded, his knowledge a weapon. Harrington stood on his command deck, gazing at Earth below. The planet spun, lights flickering back on. His broadcast impact felt across stars, alliances budding. The giant had awakened fully, its roar echoing through the void. 3 alien species, masters of 8 star systems, severed ties with the Council. Their fleets pulled back, transmissions crackling with declarations of neutrality. Inspired by Earth's unyielding stand, they broadcast support, their leaders citing human tactics as a revelation. Harrington's command received the signals, a spark of hope amid the fray. Harrington forged the coalition in a secure orbital conference. Holograms of the alien envoys flickered, their forms diverse and imposing. "Join us," he said, his voice firm. They agreed, granting access to 50 advanced fighters and a cloaking device prototype. The fighters, sleek with iridescent hulls, docked at Earth stations. The cloaking tech shimmered, bending light around test drones. Patel's team dove into the cloaking schematics, wires and circuits sprawling across lab tables. They adapted it swiftly, integrating emitters into 100 Earth ships. Hulls vanished from sensors, leaving only faint distortions. "Invisibility on demand," Patel announced, her team calibrating the fields. The ships tested in formation, ghosts in the void, ready for ambush. Korak, his controls slipping on the flagship bridge, issued scorched earth orders. His voice grated through comms. Target their fields. Bioweapons now. Pods launched from Terran vessels, dispersing clouds over Earth's farmlands. The agents engineered microbes spread fast, wilting crops under invisible assault. Earth scientists, Patel at the helm, countered in fortified greenhouses turned labs. Nanobots deployed, tiny machines programmed to hunt the microbes. They swarmed the infected zones, neutralizing 80% of the threat. Fields recovered, green shoots pushing through soil, humanity's ingenuity preserving their sustenance. Zoltan, a fugitive now, patched into galactic nets from his drifting ship. He compiled evidence of council corruption, rigged votes, suppressed reports. The broadcast beamed to 200 alien worlds, data packets laced with irrefutable logs. Rebellions ignited, protests flaring on distant planets, the Council's grip loosening. Earth's cloak fleet struck the Terran flagship, a 15-kilometer behemoth patrolling the outer rings. The 100 ships materialized like specters, disruptors firing first. Shields dropped, railguns from the new allies pounding the hull. The battle raged for 3 hours, plasma exchanges lighting the darkness. The flagship is listed, engines failing, crippled but not destroyed. Vextra panicked in the Council's chamber, her tentacles flailing. Reinforcements to Korarak, she commanded, deploying 500 reserve ships. The fleet drained core defenses, leaving headquarters exposed. Officers hesitated, but orders compelled them, vessels warping out in hurried lines. Harrington's coalition swelled to 20 species, 30 billion beings united in defiance. Emissaries pledged resources, their combined fleets a formidable shadow. Joint drills commenced, human tactics blending with alien precision, strategies evolving in real-time simulations. Zoltan's message pierced Earth's networks, his voice modulated for anonymity. "You've ignited a galaxy-wide fire," he transmitted, coordinates for a safe rendezvous attached. Harrington acknowledged, his response brief. The flames spread. The words fueled the growing alliance, bonds strengthening across stars. Korarak's bridge alarms wailed, the flagship's damage reports flooding screens. He roared at his crew, redirecting survivors to repair bays. The bioweapon failure reports trickled in, his scorched earth ploy backfiring. Vextra's reserves arrived piecemeal, stretched thin by rebel skirmishes. Patel's nanobots evolved, adapting to residual threats. Labs buzzed, new batches synthesizing under accelerated cycles. The Coalition's fighters integrated seamlessly, their cloaks syncing with human disruptors. Test runs showed flawless coordination, invisible strikes piercing mock defenses. Rebellions escalated, Zoltan's broadcast looping on pirate channels. Worlds rose, fleets defecting in droves. The Council's outposts fell to uprisings, guards overwhelmed by crowds wielding improvised arms. Vextra's chamber echoed with urgent pleas, her authority fracturing. The crippled flagship limped to a repair yard, Terran engineers swarming its breaches. Earth's cloaked raiders circled, picking off escorts. Railgun volleys silenced counterfire. Debris fields expanding. Korarak evacuated non-essentials, his pride battered. Harrington's war room thrummed with activity, holograms plotting multi-front assaults. The 20-species alliance formalized pacts, shared tech flowing freely. Patel's adaptations spread, cloaks fitted to allied vessels, turning the tide further. Zoltan evaded patrols, his ship weaving through contested space. Bounty hunters closed, but his data dumps sowed chaos, distracting pursuers. The fire he spoke of burned brighter, consuming old orders. Vextra rallied loyalists, her reserves committed despite the drain. But whispers of doubt spread, delegates eyeing exits. The galaxy cracked, Earth's defiance the wedge. Coalition ships massed, 150 strong now, cloaks engaged in unison. They probed Terran lines, strikes surgical and swift. Harrington directed from the front, his decisions sharp, the alliance a symphony of retribution. Patel's labs produced hybrid weapons, nanobots laced into missiles, tests vaporized targets, efficiency unmatched. The coalition grew, voices from 30 billion echoing in unified resolve. Zoltan's final ping to Harrington carried schematics for a network jammer. Fan the flames, it read. The device promised to blind Terran sensors, a gift from the shadows. Korak nursed his wounds, plotting counterstrikes from the repair yard. But Earth's reach extended, cloaked scouts mapping his vulnerabilities. The fire spread, unstoppable. Earth's coalition fleet, 200 ships locked in tight formation, warped toward the Council's forward base 4 light-years out. Harrington's command ship led, its hull scarred but unbowed. Cloaks disengaged in unison, revealing the armada like a sudden storm. Terran sentries fired wildly, plasma lances grazing shields. Coalition disruptors answered, stripping defenses. Fighters poured out, railguns blazing, tearing into the base's orbital ring. Explosions chained across the structure, metal buckling in the void. Patel unveiled her quantum warhead in the fleet's engineering bay, her team securing the device to a captured Terran frigate. The warhead hummed, its core a swirling vortex of entangled particles. One hit collapses their reactors, she explained to Harrington via comms, her voice steady. They tested it on the frigate's heart. The ship shuddered, core imploding in a contained flash. No debris, just a silent void where power once surged. Harrington nodded. Arm the leads. Korak, cornered at the base's command nexus, unleashed his final gambit. 1,000-drone swarm erupted from hidden bays, each drone a dagger armed with plasma torpedoes. They swarmed toward Earth's shipyards, engines flaring like angry wasps. Rip their hearts out, he snarled, his scales paling as reports flooded in. Harrington watched the swarm on his holomap, icons blotting the display. His fleet intercepted, 30 ships peeling off to shield the yards. Hold the line, he ordered, his voice cutting through static. Disruptors fired, felling drones in clusters. Torpedoes struck, breaching hulls. 30 human vessels shattered, their crews lost in fireballs that lit the stars. The yards survived, forges still pounding out new frames. Silence gripped the bridge, then resolve hardened. Zoltan infiltrated the Council's headquarters, his cloak shuttle slipping past patrols. He docked in a maintenance shaft, pressure suits sealing with a hiss. Corridors hummed with alarms, guards rushing past. He hacked a terminal, data streams flooding his visor. The 50-planet defense network, coordinates and codes exposed. Their web unravel, he whispered, downloading it all. Alarms blared as he fled, phaser fire scorching walls behind him. The coalition pressed the assault, quantum warheads lancing forward. Terran ships detonated from within, reactors folding like crushed foil. The base's core defenses crumbled, turrets silenced by railgun barrages. Boarding parties launched, mag boots clanging on hulls. They breached, securing hangars. 10,000 prisoners knelt, hands raised. 20 advanced warships fell intact, prizes for the victors. Vextra cornered Zoltan in a crystalline antechamber, her tentacles blocking the exit. Desperation etched her features. "Cease this madness, Crix," she begged, voice cracking. "We misjudged them. Call off your humans." Zoltan stood firm, data crystal clutched tight. "Too late for pleas," he said. "Humanity demands reckoning." Her eyes widened, realization dawning. The Council had sown its own fall. Harrington refused the relayed ceasefire, his holomap pulsing with advances. "No terms but equality," he transmitted back, fleet surging onward. Disruptors cleared paths, fighters weaving through wreckage. The base's command fell, officers surrendering under coalition banners. Quantum strikes lit the battlefield, Terran lines breaking like waves on rock. The Terran fleet, whittled to 80 battered ships, broke formation. Engines flared, warping toward their homeworld. Korarak's voice echoed in retreat orders, abandoning the council mid-battle. His bridge evacuated to shuttles, the forward base a smoldering ruin. Coalition ships pursued briefly, then held, consolidating gains. Earth's coalition broadcast pierced the chaos, voices from 20 species unified. The galaxy belongs to all, not the few, Harrington declared, his image flanked by alien envoys. The words rippled across frequencies, rebellions flaring brighter. Zultan's stolen data spread, networks jamming council signals. Planets rose, fleets turning coats. Patel's warheads armed more leads, tests confirming yields. Labs aboard the fleet adapted, nanobots reinforcing casings. The coalition's prisoners yielded intel, maps of hidden depots. Harrington integrated it, and strikes were planned with precision. The breaking point shattered, momentum theirs. Vextra's chamber descended into pandemonium, delegates fleeing. She clutched her console, ceasefire pleas ignored. Zoltan's escape pod launched, docking with a coalition frigate. He transferred the network data, hands steady. Their empire crumbles, he told the receiving officer. Korarak's remnants scattered, homeworld calls frantic. The 80 ships limped, pursued by scouts. Harrington recalled the hunters focusing on the spoils. 20 warships refitted, cloaks sinking with human tech. Prisoners processed, some joining the cause. The base's ruins scanned, salvage teams harvesting cores. Quantum tech reverse engineered on the fly, Patel's voice guiding over comms. Tension peaked in the void, explosions fading to echoes. The coalition stood victorious, breath caught in the silence. Zultan's visor replayed Vextra's plea, a ghost in his mind. He shook it off, plotting next moves. The galaxy teetered, humanity's hand on the scale. Harrington gazed at the holomap, icons shifting to blue. The broadcast looped, a clarion call. Alliances solidified, 30 billion voices in harmony. The point broken, the path clear. The coalition fleet, 300 ships strong, warped to the Terran homeworld, 18 light-years from Earth. Harrington's command ship led, its cloaked hull a shadow among stars. The armada emerged in a blitz, disruptors firing. Terran's orbital defenses sparked, caught off guard. Plasma bolts answered, grazing coalition shields. Fighters launched, railguns cutting through enemy pickets. The planet loomed below, its cities glowing under a violet sky, unaware of the storm descending. Patel's quantum warheads armed the lead ships. A single volley was fired, targeting a Terran formation. 50 enemy vessels imploded, reactors collapsing in silent, blinding flashes. The wreckage drifted, a graveyard in orbit. Harrington watched the holomap, his gray eyes sharp. "Press the advantage," he ordered, voice steady. The coalition surged, cloaks flickering as they repositioned. Korarak, humiliated on his crippled flagship, broadcast a challenge. "Harrington, face me in single combat." His scaled face filled the comms, teeth bared. Harrington's response was curt. "No duels. Strategy wins wars." He cut the feed, focusing on the battle map. Korarak's pride stung, but his fleet faltered, morale crumbling under human precision. Zultan, patched into Patel's network, hacked the Terran defense grid from a coalition frigate. His blue fingers danced over a console, bypassing orbital cannon protocols. 70% offline, he signaled, his voice tight with focus. Patel relayed the data, her team amplifying the hack. Cannons fell silent, their barrels dark against the planet's glow, leaving gaps for the coalition's assault. The fleet descended, facing 200,000 Terran ground troops. A 12-hour battle erupted, urban sprawls turning into war zones. Coalition ships hovered, disruptors stripping enemy bunkers of shields. Railguns pounded fortifications, dust clouds rising. Ground teams, human and alien, advanced with mag rifles, their boots crunching alien soil. Terran's defenses buckled, their lines reduced to 10% capacity by cloak strikes and quantum blasts. Vextra's surrender came via broadcast, her tentacles limp in the council chamber. "We yield," she said, voice hollow, addressing 500 alien worlds. The signal looped, her apology a stark admission of failure. Delegates around her sat stunned, their empire unraveling. The crystalline headquarters dimmed, its pulse fading with their authority. Zoltan negotiated with defecting council members, securing 15 votes for a new galactic framework. His shuttle docked at a neutral station, holograms of envoys flickering. "Equality or nothing," he stated, his data slate outlining a cooperative charter. The defectors nodded, their species banners lowered in respect. The old order crumbled, replaced by tentative hope. Harrington's tactics dominated the ground assault. Cloaked ships dropped precision payloads, disruptors clearing paths for troops. Terran soldiers, once proud, surrendered in droves, their weapons discarded. Coalition banners rose over the capital, a flag stitched with 20 allied species symbols, flapping in the alien wind. The city fell, its spires silent under coalition control. The battle's climax faded into quiet. Smoke curled from ruined fortifications. Harrington stood on a captured rooftop, his uniform stained but posture unyielding. The coalition's victory was absolute, the Terran homeworld theirs. He addressed his fleet via comms, voice resolute. "We fought for freedom, now we build for peace." Korak's flagship, one of the last 80 Terran vessels, limped into a low orbit. He issued no further challenges. His bridge was evacuated. Coalition scouts tracked the remnants, but Harrington recalled them, prioritizing consolidation. The captured capital buzzed with activity, prisoners processed, and tech salvaged for the Alliance. Patel's warheads, now standard across the fleet, shifted the balance. Her team, aboard a mobile lab, refined targeting algorithms, ensuring pinpoint accuracy. The quantum tech spread to allied ships, their arsenals upgraded mid-campaign. The Tehran defeat was surgical, a testament to human ingenuity. Zoltan's negotiations bore fruit, the new framework gaining traction. Envoys drafted terms, their holograms projecting unity. The Tehran surrender spread, ripples of capitulation reaching distant outposts. The coalition's flag became a symbol, its colors a beacon for oppressed worlds. Vextra's broadcast looped, her apology a dirge for the old council, her chamber emptied, delegates fleeing or pledging to the new order. Zoltan's data slate updated, votes climbing. The galaxy shifted, old hierarchies collapsing under the weight of Earth's defiance. Harrington's speech echoed across frequencies, reaching billions. Alien allies amplified it, their networks carrying his words. The coalition secured the capital, establishing a forward base. Terran civilians watched, awed and fearful, as human and allied troops patrolled with discipline. Patel's lab moved planetside, analyzing Tehran tech. Quantum warheads evolved, and their yields stabilized for broader use. The coalition's strength grew, its diversity a weapon no council could match. Zoltan stood among the negotiators, his scholarly robes now battle-worn. The charter took shape, equality its cornerstone. He glanced at the flag, its 20 symbols a promise kept. The Tehran homeworld quieted, its skies clear of hostile craft. Harrington's gaze lifted, his mind on the future. The final stand ended, but the work began anew. The galaxy waited, its fate in their hands. The Tehran capital's spires gleamed under a violet dawn, coalition flags snapping in the breeze. Earth's orbital station, rebuilt with salvaged Terran alloys, hosted the first Galactic Cooperative Council. Envoys from 200 species gathered. There forms a mosaic of scales, tentacles, and light. Harrington, no longer in a commander's uniform but a diplomat's coat, stood at the podium. His gray hair caught the station's soft light, his presence commanding yet calm. The chamber hummed, its walls pulsing with shared transmissions, a new era dawning. Sultan, now an advisor, drafted the charter's core. His blue fingers traced clauses on a data slate, ensuring equality for all species. "No tiers, no chains," he said to the envoys, his voice steady. They nodded, signing the document in a flurry of holographic seals. The charter bound 200 worlds, each voice equal, a framework born from Earth's defiance. Zoltan's robes, once pristine, bore stains of his fugitive days, a badge of his commitment. Patel's team, stationed in a mobile lab orbiting Earth, shared their reverse-engineered tech. Railguns, disruptors, and quantum cores spread to 50 allied worlds, boosting economies with clean energy and advanced tools. Patel, her lab coat swapped for a technician's jumpsuit, oversaw the transfer. "This is our gift," she said, her dark eyes scanning data streams. Factories on allied planets roared to life, their output a testament to shared knowledge. Harrington stepped down as military leader, his role as ambassador formalized. He walked the station's corridors, greeting envoys with firm handshakes. His decision to disband the coalition's 300-ship fleet followed. Ships were redistributed to guard weaker worlds. Sleek fighters patrolled distant systems, their cloaks shimmering. The galaxy's edges grew safer, trust replacing fear. Vextra, exiled to a remote station, met Sultan in a guarded chamber. Her tentacles hung limp, her voice low. "Your humans broke us," she admitted, eyes avoiding his. "Their adaptability was our ruin." Sultan nodded, silent. Her confession carried no weight now. The old council, a fading memory. She retreated, her silhouette fading into the station's dim halls. The new council convened, its first act abolishing the tier system. 7 billion humans, once deemed primitive, stood as equals. The vote passed unanimously, screens flashing approval across 200 worlds. Earth cities, now 8 billion strong, rebuilt with 30% powered by alien tech. Skyscrapers glowed, their energy grids humming with Terran-derived reactors. Zoltan walked the orbital station, reflecting on the year past. Humanity's 12-month surge had reshaped the galaxy. From a dismissed species to a galactic linchpin, their journey defied his archives. He paused at a viewport, Earth's blue curve below. A quiet moment settled, his blue skin catching the planet's reflected light. Patel joined Harrington for a rare moment of rest, their paths crossing in the station's garden dome. Vines from allied worlds curled around steel trellises, a symbol of unity. They spoke briefly, their words light but warm, a spark of camaraderie forged in war. "We built more than weapons," Patel said, her smile faint. Harrington nodded, his gaze distant but hopeful, their bond a quiet anchor. The galaxy's networks buzzed with the Council's charter, broadcast to billions. Weaker planets received ships, their skies patrolled by coalition remnants. Economies stabilized, trade routes opened, and rebellions quieted, replaced by negotiations. The flag of 20 allied symbols flew on every member world, a beacon of cooperation. Zoltan stood before the council, his final log prepared. He activated his slate, his voice carrying across the chamber. "A year ago, I warned of humanity's potential," he began, his tone measured. "They were called primitives, yet they united a fractured galaxy. Their strength lies not in conquest, but in adaptation, in building where others destroy. They fought for freedom, not domination, and in doing so, redefined what it means to be strong." He paused, eyes sweeping the envoys. "This is their legacy, A galaxy where all stand equal, where cooperation triumphs over chains. The chamber fell silent, envoys absorbing his words. Harrington at the podium's edge met Zoltan's gaze, a nod of respect passing between them. The Charter's principles, born from Earth's fire, anchored the new order. Zoltan stepped back, his role complete. The scholar now a witness to history. Earth spun below, its cities alive with purpose. Patel's labs continued, now training alien engineers. Harrington's diplomacy wove tighter bonds, his once military mind now crafting peace. The galaxy once ruled by arrogance breathed freer, its stars brighter under a shared vision. Zoltan's log closed, transmitted to archives across 200 worlds. He lingered at the viewport, Earth's oceans glinting. Humanity hadn't just survived, they'd reshaped the cosmos. The giant once sleeping now stood tall, its strength a quiet promise to the stars.